Week 3, Day 2, Creativity. This first slide is a review from the lecture Structure of an Advertising Agency. We're talking about creativity now, so I just wanted to review that. The creative department develops the ideals, images, and words which is the technical term is copy, and we'll talk more about that make up the ads. And then remember, I have a range of salary there depending on where you work and what kind of agency you work in. So you have your creative group. They're the lifeblood of the business because they're responsible for writing and designing advertising campaigns. An ad agency is only as good as the ads that come out the creative department. Everyone within the creative services report to the creative directors. It is his or her role to steer the creative product, making sure it is on brand, on brief, and on time. In most agencies, copywriters and art directors are paired up together, working as teams. The best creatives can continually think of fresh approaches to advertise a brand or service and are equally skilled at selling their ideals to clients. And as I said before, creatives spend less time with clients, but the time they do spend with them is crucial to the agency's sale process. Again, here's another review slide from that same lecture with the hierarchy of the structure of the creative department. So you have the creative group. Within the creative group, you have the creative director. Sometimes you have an associate director, and then copywriters and art directors. You may have a couple of pair of those, and then you might have the junior and copywriter and ad director. And then even sometimes graphic designers under there. So let's talk about how the thinking brain works. So you have the left side of the brain and you have the right side of the brain. Let's start with the left side. The left side is rational, meaning to act with reasoning. It's also practical, actually doing something versus the theory of doing it. So not just saying, okay, if you do this, this was what should happen, but being practical about it and actually doing it. Logical, meaning following all the rules. The left side is linear, meaning it does things in order, the way they're supposed to be done. Analytical, meaning to examine in detail. And finally, the left side of the brain is mathematical, using data, statistics, and numbers. Now let's talk about the right side of the brain. The right side of the brain is where creativity happens. It deals with emotions, feelings, and moods. It's creative. It comes up with original ideas. It's imaginative. Imaginative meaning forming mental images and concepts. It's intuitive, based on how one feels without reasoning about it. So it's that gut feeling. It's holistic, focusing on the whole and not the individual parts. And it's expanded. Broaden your horizons and perspective. So the right side of the brain don't follow the rules. It thinks outside of the box, where the left side of the brain is very rational and logical. It follows the rules, and it follows it in order. The thinking process is like a kayak with two paddles. One paddle represents creative thinking, while the other represents critical thinking. So they work together. So let's talk about how we think. Critical thinking is the process we use to reflect on, assess, and judge the assumptions underlying our own and other ideals and efforts. And this happens on the left side of the brain. So we're very analytical when we're critically thinking. So we're examining in great detail. We're judgmental. So looking at things from a critical point of view excessively. Selective, looking for the most suitable or the best qualified when we're critically thinking. Probability, the likelihood that something will happen. When we're critically thinking, it's always that thought of yes, but more questions and more analysis. It's never really satisfied. So that's how we think critically. We also can think creatively. This is the process we use to develop ideals that are unique, useful, and worthy of further elaboration. And this happens on the right side of the brain. In this creative thinking, we're exploring new ideals. We're having the power or function to generate, originating, and producing. When you're creative thinking, you're non-judgmental. You're expansive, so you broaden your horizons and perspectives. You think of all the different possibilities and conditions of being possible. And then in a critical thinking, it's not yes, but, however, it's yes, and. So you're adding to what you have already come up with. Enjoy the rest of your day.